Session on automated refactoring in IntelliJ IDEA. I am Ganesh Samarthyam, co-founder of CodeOps Technologies. In this session, we are going to take you through a whirlwind tour of simple code improvements to complex automated refactorings. So you can do almost most of the code improvements automatically in IntelliJ IDEA. You can auto detect smells, you can auto generate code, you can fix automatically, you can transform code segments from one structure to another, improve the code, and also remove smells, like for example code clones. So let's start with improvements. Not all code improvements are refactorings, but nevertheless they are very useful. For example, in this simple program we have a http:/google.com, right? That is not really a executable code, and that actually is an unused label, and IntelliJ IDEA is very helpful, and you can automatically remove the unused code label, and when we do that, it's an improvement in the code. So let's start with very simple code improvements. For example, optimizing imports. Let's say you have a lot of unused import statements like this, and by just right click and doing optimize imports, you'll be able to refactor it. You can also improve the structure of your the styling of your code. Let us say you have messed up code like this, not well formatted. What you can do is you can choose an option Ctrl Alt L in Windows, and you'll be able to automatically rearrange the code, and it will automatically improve the styling of your code uniformly. You can also generate code to improve a code. So for example, we are going to see how to use generate try-catch block automatically. Let us say we have this code segment. This is working code which will accept an integer as an input and prints the input integer. But the problem is, if you give wrong input, for example a string, then this program will crash with an exception, which is not acceptable. Now we want to protect this code by surrounding it with a try-catch block, and instead of doing it hand coded, you can surround it with a try-catch block like this, and do the minimal edits as needed, and make this as a well structured code. So now we get a proper exception. So such generation of the code improves productivity, and also because it is automatically generated, it also results in better code. Let's start with little higher level code changes. Renaming variables. We can of course rename a variable manually, but the challenge with that approach is that we may end up renaming the variables wrongly and manually finding out all the places where a variable is used can be error prone, and if we wrongly change a variable name, that can give result to subtle bugs or compiler errors and runtime failures. In other words, your productivity reduces when you try to rename variables manually. Here is an example. Let us say we have this variable stocks here, and you can rename it to a more meaningful name. In this case I use F6 to rename the variable, and that change is affected everywhere. Another simple refactoring is to have classes in their rightful place in their own files. In this example, we have a class, a file named stockprocessing.java, which has two classes, stock and stock processing. And ideally, we should have the stock class in stock.java, and the stock processing should remain in the same file. So what we can do is we can just select that class and move the class via F6, and in this case it's in the same package, and now the class stock is in the Java class. We can also automatically simplify complex code segments into simpler ones. Here's a trivial example. We have a new thread object created through an anonymous inner class, and we can automatically convert it into a lambda call by doing alt enter and select the right option, and in this case replace with lambda, and the code is automatically simplified. We can also do automatic code refactoring, like extracting constants, fields, and methods. Here in this case we have a constant, and it's better to have the constant as a named constant. So let's extract that constant. So Alt Command C, and now there's the regular expression for splitting the string that also can be extracted into a constant. Gives a meaningful name for the constant, and here we have extracted a constant. Now let's extract a field. Here in this case we have a local variable called stocks. So let's take that stocks and extract it as a field. So Alt Command F in Mac, and change the variable name and extract it into a field. Now let's try to extract a method. Here this is a simple code, but still it doesn't very clearly indicate what is the flow of this program. So these two lines that could be extracted to a method, and the complex conditional you have here as an argument to it's not a conditional, it's an argument to sorted call that can be extracted to methods. So let's see it as an example. So Alt Command M and give a meaningful name, get some words, and here it is, it's extracted to a method. Now let's go ahead, select the code within the sorted method call, and again extract the method. And what we're doing here is sort the strategy, right? Sorting strategy here. So that's also extracted into a method. Now we have done very simple refactorings, like extracting fields, constants, surrounding with try-catch blocks, merge try-catch blocks, extract methods, etc. Let's put together in a simple program. Let us say we want to zip a file. Here we have an rquality.csv file. Now this is a working code, but that is not very effective. What we need to have is something that is not just working, but that is also well structured. Here in this case what we are doing here is we are getting the file, CSV file, we are creating the name of the zip file, get the input stream, and create an output stream for the zip file, then start reading the file input, then while it is not the end of the file, start writing that content into the output, which is the zip file. Now this is working code, and now we can see that the zip file got generated, but this code is not very good, it sucks. What we need to do is we have to do some primitive refactorings, the ones that we have seen so far, like extracting the constants, extracting fields, creating methods, surrounding with try-catch blocks, etc. And let's do it now. Let's give a meaningful name for the path and the meaningful name for the file name. Surround with a try-catch block, another try-catch block. Now merge them together, adjust the code, automatically insert the underscore in as a separator in 1024, give a meaningful name for that constant, let's now extract a method, give a meaningful name for that, write into a zip file, and now we have something better than what we had before. And do other things like remove the unnecessary imports. As you can see, we have seen some primitive refactorings, and you can see how these come together to improve the existing code, and this is a powerful approach. Now let's go further and extract some method references. Now spend a few seconds thinking about this code. How can you improve this code? One trivial way to improve this code is to just extract into a method reference. But that's not an effective refactoring. Can you think of a better refactoring here? So here is a better refactoring. You can see the power of IntelliJ coming into picture here, and you can replace it with for each from the map. Now the code becomes much simpler. So choosing right refactoring is still in our hands. While IntelliJ can help automate the refactoring, we have to choose the right refactorings to make it more effective. And now we are slowly entering into automated design refactoring. Now till so far we were improving the structure of the code and not really much of the underlying design, and that's what we are entering into. So let's start with a very simple example of improving the structure of the code and the underlying design. Let's say we have this code, and what you can see here is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 arguments in a constructor. So this is a smell. So the smell name is we can call it as long parameter list in the constructor smell. And one of the ways to deal with the long parameter list is to extract the data clumps into their own abstractions. In this case, we can extract things like a city, place, etc. into an abstraction called location. And now there is another data clump here, which is the pollution details. So we can extract the last 4 arguments in the pollutant entry, the average, max, min, and pollutants as another abstraction. So we are refactoring data clumps into abstractions. Now choose the options here and do refactor. In this case, we are using contextual actions here and performing the refactoring. And now this has become a much more manageable and better code, where we have only 3 parameters for the pollutant entry. Now there are more effective ways to refactor such code where we have a long parameter list. Can you think of what could be the better refactoring? So to give another example of a similar problem, so we have a device class with 5 arguments, and when you try to create a device object, the constructor call looks crazy. It's not very readable. We don't understand what the first parameter, second parameter, third, fourth, fifth, etc. means, and often we end up mixing the parameters and passing wrong parameter values. So it's bug prone as well. So one effective way to deal with that is to refactor into builder pattern. So here is a long parameter list, and now what we are doing is we are generating the template code for the class. Get it working? Yeah. Now this is a long parameter list smell, and what we could do is we could extract this into a builder class. So yeah, let's start that. So what is builder pattern? Builder pattern helps build complex objects. So we are using context help and say refactor the constructor into builder pattern. And as you can see, the IntelliJ has automatically created the builder class with the corresponding setter methods and the fields. And here is the create device method, which returns the created object. Now if you look at the main method, it's amazing. IntelliJ has replaced the constructor call with the builder call. Now there is a one flip side to using this builder pattern. The positive side is that this is more type safety. Like when you create a builder object and pass a device ID, it is very difficult to mix up with some other argument, so it becomes much more readable and it's also type safe. But on the flip side, it looks like a snake call. It starts with one big line and it goes on and on and on. Yeah, so there are flip side to using builder pattern, but it is quite powerful when used correctly. Now let us look at another topic, which is about refactoring to functional programming. So some of the key ideas behind functional programming is that we use internal iteration instead of external iteration. Especially, for example, explicit for loops, while loops, etc. We can convert it into internal for each loops. Now another key idea is to use a stream API instead of hard-coded loops and avoid conditional statements. And often conditional statements like if conditions become filters in the stream. Let us take an example. Here is an example of a long winding code. Generate a city-wise pollution report. This code works, but it sucks. It's large and it's quite sequential and procedural. So how can we improve this? It is to convert the external to internal iteration and extract methods and make it as a stream, and your code improves. Let's see simple examples. Here is an example of a procedural code. We are so used to procedural thinking that we often find it difficult to even think of in a functional way. Now that's why I've taken a very simple example of prime numbers. You have the isPrime function. Given a long value, it checks from I equal to 2 to the value divided by 2, check if it is divisible by 0, and if there is anything divisible by 0, that means it's not a prime number, so return false. And if there is no value that is divisible by the value divided by 2, that means it's still a prime number. So now we are having a long loop from 2 to 1 lakh, try to find out how many primes are there, right? Now we are so used to thinking procedurally that it's very difficult to think functionally. Now think about it. How will you convert this for loop into functional code? Take a few seconds, think about it. How about this for loop? You have an accumulator pattern here, right? It's an anti-pattern. So how will you avoid this loop and accumulation and this conditional check? So let's see if IntelliJ comes to help here. So you do Alt Enter and you can see none match. So that's one refactoring for this conditional check. And you have this for loop, and this can be converted into, of course, a stream. That's awesome, is it not? So when I saw such examples, I was totally impressed how IntelliJ is so powerful and intelligent. So I would strongly recommend you to try out and see the power of IntelliJ by your own. Just run it on your code base, find out, shoot IntelliJ on some complex code segments and do Alt Enter and see if you are able to find some good refactorings. Not all things can be automatically refactored in IntelliJ IDEA. For example, this is a low level code for reading a file, and this is the refactored solution is a Steam solution for that, and this is not, at least as of now, done by IntelliJ IDEA. We have to still do it manually. So it's not that every possible refactoring is already done by IntelliJ IDEA. Still there are situations where you have to do it manually. So what are the key takeaways? First, Alt Enter, and it helps think possibilities of improvement, and it executes, and you can execute these improvements instantly, and it's incredibly easy and powerful. So the second key takeaway is that use Control T extensively. So it invokes the refactor menu option in IntelliJ IDEA. Let's give me a simple example. Find and replace code duplicates. I have seen in code bases, in large code bases spanning millions of lines of code, and if I run clone duplicate detection tools like copy paste detector, Simian, etc., I often find 30% code duplicates. Now think about it. In 1 million lines of code, 30% code duplicate, which means the actual lines of code is only 700,000 lines of code, and 300,000 lines of code is duplicates, right? Now if you can shoot your code base and run find and replace code duplicates, a considerable amount of code, those code duplicates will get automatically removed. Of course, you will not do it in a production code base, but at least it gives you possibilities to see what are those code duplicates and how they could be refactored, and you can slowly address them. So this is incredibly powerful. So in other words, you can automate most of the stuff with IntelliJ, starting from simple code improvements, auto code fixes, and transforming the code segments to identifying the smells and removing those smells. So try it out; it's amazing. In other words, there are some things that money can't buy, but everything else there is Mastercard like that. There are some things you can have to hand code, but for everything else there is IntelliJ. I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you for watching.